Hello and welcome to another view from the cab. And today, on this rather sunny Thursday, it's been on the news, on the radio this morning, that ministers in the Houses of Parliament are going to be talking about reality TV shows. This follows on from the tragic suicide of the guest on the Jeremy Kyle show, which it follows on from yesterday's vlog. So ministers are going to be investigating. They're going to be looking into it. And thank that other motorist there for letting me across. And they're going to be looking into it. Now, it's a shame that they don't look into other things like homelessness or child poverty or child abuse or other things that actually matter. If people choose to go on reality TV shows, then that's entirely up to them. That's their lookout. They can do what they want with it. There's a lot of things that happen that are unfair that people don't get a say in. You know, it's a bit like years ago when then Prime Minister, I think he was either Prime Minister or Chancellor, Gordon Brown, not my most favourite politician of all time. Gordon Brown decided they was going to start looking into these pirated videos because they cost the economy so much money. You know, these bootleg videos, these bootleg DVDs cost the British economy 48 bajillion pounds every second of every day, and it's not on, and we've got to do something to stamp it out. And you think, yeah, well, and my point at the time was, well, what about all these indecent films that are on the internet? You know, the child abuse films that are on the internet, this sort of thing, the stuff that can be, you know, because that's not costing any money in tax, is it? That's not lost revenue for the government, so they're not interested. Instead of trying to stamp out that sort of thing, they're too busy trying to stamp out pirated DVDs because it costs money. They always seem to be looking at the wrong things. Ministers are going to waste time by talking about reality TV shows, and maybe they need stricter guidelines. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. There's plenty of other things. I care about ex-army people, ex-soldiers sleeping rough on the streets. I care about children going to school and going to bed hungry. You know, I care about all the money that's wasted. Maybe by the politicians. Maybe they should look at that. Maybe they should look at the top-heavy management structure in the NHS that siphons off all the money. Maybe they should look at that. Maybe, you know, they should just look at lots of things, but of course they won't, because as always it seems to be a knee-jerk reaction to things. Oh, we've got to look into this, and we've got to, you know, we've got to spend a lot of time doing this and doing that, and it's the wrong stuff. You know, it's the wrong stuff. And sadly, that is just the world we live in. That is just the world we live in. You know, and it is awfully sad. It is awfully sad that, you know, but what can you do? That's the question. What can you do? We're always going to have these politicians and their thoughts and their musings and things. And you know, you hear it on the radio. You watch the news. You hear it on the radio, and yet another dopey politician has come out with yet another dopey idea, which has got no real. Maybe we should look at reason why that little old lady committed suicide a few weeks ago, because the DWP, the Department for Work and Pensions, wrongly stopped her pension money, and she was absolutely potless and didn't have a penny in the world. Maybe they should look at that kind of thing. The unsympathetic attitude towards disabled children, the unsympathetic attitude towards old people. Maybe they should look at the unsympathetic attitude generally in this horrible country that we live in. You know, we live in a very strange country. We live in a very strange country, sort of a mix of socialism and capitalism, like the NHS. oh well, it's free, it's social health care, you see, and it's all free, and it's not. They make out it's free, but they charge you a pretty penny. But if you need treatment, it costs too much money. I'm sorry, you can't have that, it costs too much money. But hang on, it's a social health care thing, it's a socialist thing, we're supposed to be, but now you're telling me it costs too much money, you know. And it doesn't really matter, you know, you could be a kid with some horrible disease, you could be an adult, you could be an old person, but it doesn't matter. We live in a very awful country where you know, the vast majority of the population is treated absolutely appallingly by the powers that be. You know, they're treated disgusting. Everybody is. I mean, I have people say to me about, oh, they've stopped money off my pension, or they're stopping my boys' disability allowance or whatever, and I say, yeah, but in fairness, you know, you're not being victimised, or your son's not being victimised, because any excuse they can get to pinch a penny back, and they're all over it. You know, they're all over it. They're spending their money on the wrong things, they're looking at the wrong things all the time, and it just makes me sad. It makes me, well, angry, really angry. You know, instead of wasting your time on reality TV shows that you can either watch or you don't, or you can either go on or you don't, you know, look at the more important things in life. You know, that's my opinion, and that is today my view from the cab. So until next time.